Welcome, everybody. Really nice to have you here today. I wanted to remind you that this is our next to our last class in this module. We're going to finish introducing this wellness exercise today, and then we are going to keep working on it next week and help you get that down. And then the following week, we're going to be starting a new class, and the new class is also a beginner class, and it includes basics, but it begins teaching the Yang family long form. And the Yang long form is the most popular form in the world. So, and the Yang family is the style of that form, which has been literally kept in the Yang family and handed down within sort of the genetic lineage of that family by the lineage holder. So, there's variations and styles and flavors of this 103 long form that I hope you'll join us to learn. And this is one of those, and it is the one that actually comes from the descendants of Yang Lushan, who invented it. So that's what we're about there. So I think you'll enjoy it. It's sort of a twofer. You know, you get basics, but when you're done, you start to have something. You have something that other people in the world are doing, and you'll bump into somebody, and they'll do it too. And they may do it with a very slightly flavor or to it, but you'll recognize it. You'll say, oh, yeah, that's what I do. And you may be able to do it with them, which is a real gift, I believe. So we've got some other folks joining us. Not sure I can see everybody here. But welcome, Molly. So we have New York represented, we have Colorado represented. And folks are coming in. I see Gail's here too. So welcome, everybody. We're excited. Let's get warmed up. We're going to start with the wellness exercises that we've been working on, and I will call out what we're doing. And if you're new and you don't know what we're doing, just pick something. Either just do one arm or do the legs or just kind of sketch it. But I think that much of this you will be able to do. So let's begin by standing shoulder width apart. And as we've become used to, we're going to ground our feet. We're going to feel, like a couple of weeks ago, we were on rocky terrain. Just imagine that for a moment. Imagine that rocky terrain, imagine a little wind, imagine grounding yourself. And you'll feel your weight descend a little bit. Unlock those knees, relax that lower back, a little bit of a gorilla on, maybe sitting in a chair a little bit. So we're gonna remember that, sitting in a chair or gorillaing, just really relaxed here. And then we're going to come up. I'm actually going to be at the side today for this first prepare, so you can see my alignment a little bit better. We're going to think about sort of the plane of our body in the front. Have your heart in the center for right now, and your heart just looking out. Make sure that your shoulders, sort of plane your shoulders are in, is level. Can you do that? Just make adjustments as you go. Then I want you to take the very top of your head. Where is the top of your head? Oh, maybe your head is tipped down or up. Find that sort of soft spot in the very, very top of your head, the end of your spine, and feel like it is attracted. It's not pulled, but it's attracted skyward. Just let that happen. And feel as it's attracted with those grounded feet, like your whole body gently, gently just gets a chance to expand. And to help that out, we're going to imagine our body hanging like on a coat hanger, just sort of melt down, those shoulders melt down. All those planes we talked about earlier, the vertical, the horizontal, they're still there. But now your shoulders have completely melted, your neck is long, you're suspended. Your knees are relaxed. Your weight, check that. It's evenly divided between both feet. Is it forward on the ball? Is it back on the heels? Play with that a little bit. Get it centered. Every time you adjust anything else, that may move too. So can we get everything centered? One line. Centered, expanded. Relaxed, but energetic. Maybe little weights on the ends of our fingers. This is the position we call prepare. Going into opening, we're going to feel an expansion across the upper part of our back. And as that part of our back just kind of expands, it's going to turn our upper arms. So our palms face back, and then our arms are going to float up. We had an image of floating and an image of levering. They come to our shoulders, and then the upper arms, elbows give way first. And now you're pushing a ball through water. It might be a little bouncy, imagine that. It takes a tiny bit of effort. Comes a point when you can't push anymore, find that point, because somehow it wouldn't be a push on that ball anymore. And then come back to where you started. Now we're going to go into wellness exercise number 1, where we're going to coordinate our legs with this. So that's spreading across your upper back, arms rotate, levering up. And now at the top, as you release those elbows, you're going to release your knees too. You may or may not go down as far as I do. Going down, same move, sitting in a chair and up. Down. Up. Breathing in. Breathing out. You want your pace to be different, that's fine. We're going to do 2 more. This is moving like the waves. Nice. As we come down and can't push anymore now, we flatten our hands, palms back, rotate our arms. Oh, I'm sorry. We come back up. I went the wrong way and come out. I want you to imagine now a huge West Coast tree you're attached to that now exhales and becomes a large East Coast tree. Imagine a breathing tree. You're connected to it. You're expanded. So we were going up, down before. Now we've got a whole new dimension of expansion. Feel it out to your very fingertips. But the tree is round, you are round. Breathing in. Breathing out. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now that tree sort of disappears, but you are a giant bird. Feel that circle, that big giant circle, be your wings. Coming out, it's basically the same movement, but now you're very conscious of your back of your shoulders, the back of that circle, the power of your big, beautiful wings, coordinating your upper body and your lower body. We'll do one more. If at any time this is too much for you, just stop and shake out. And we're going to come down. Drop our hands, rotate. As we extend our legs, we gaze up 45 degrees of the moon. Shoulders stay pretty down. Rotate around our elbows. Pushing down like a ball into water as we sink. And again, inhale. Our gaze returns to the horizon as our arms come in front of our face, expanding up all the way, feeling that power come up and down. One more. Gazing up at the moon. Down. This arm, just pick an arm, the arm that makes sense to you, comes up. It just circles around the elbow, but it turns and grabs and pulls. The other arm's coming up. Inside arm rising. We're back at the center. We pull. Inside arm rising. Back. Turn, grab, pull. Inside arm rising. Grab, pull. This is cloud hands. If this is becoming natural for you, just enjoy the big coordinated movements, the turning of your upper body. Remember, your lower body is pretty quiet. We're keeping it safe. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. We're going to come to a stop here. Drop our hands into carrying a sack of apples. Come up. Staying up with the lower body, pressing that ball down. All right. Guys are looking great. How are we doing? I see some thumbs up. Feel free to say anything on, hey, Julia, welcome. Nice to see you. I'm going to join Molly for a minute. It's 9 o'clock on Saturday morning here. So if anyone else wants a sip of water or whatever is your morning beverage, enjoy.
For some unknown reason, my laptop refuses to join this class. I'm hoping next class it does.
Oh, well, this is working for me anyway. Nice to have you here.
You're just tiny.
Okay. All right. Well done. All right. Any questions about any of that? Are we feeling good this morning? Working for you? All right. Good. All right. So I want to continue to warm us up a little bit and get us into more of what we did last week, which was working towards that 7th wellness exercise. You notice that we just did 4, and now we're leaping to number 7. But that gave us an opportunity to invent the bow step a couple of weeks ago, and to now be moving in that bow step. And that's really great basics work, as well as teaching us another wellness exercise. So that's what we're about here. So, so let's continue to warm up a little bit, but a little faster. We talked about sort of this position last week. Well, let me actually, before we do that, let's just remind everybody, let's jiggle a little bit. Let's just jiggle, be really relaxed. You're gonna drop your, this is more of that gorillaing your lower body, just really relaxed in this whole area. Just let your body jiggle, but don't do anything that hurts. Again, either your back, most people won't have a problem with this, but you might, so be gentle. And it might be your back, it might be some other part of your body, it might be, your knees. Do whatever works for you, and always let me know if we need to adjust something. So just kind of, get a little shaking going on here until you feel relaxed and loose and all of that. And if there's some other part of your body, yeah, that looks really nice, folks. And, then just do whatever works. Now, what I'd like to do is as you are able, you know how we've talked about this, turning out your thigh, and we've done these knee bumps. Remind yourself of that. We've done these knee bumps where we discovered that if we really gorillaed here and relaxed, we could actually turn that thigh bone out. Some of us just to the corner, but a lot further than whatever had been our range of motion without sort of gorillaing that lower body. Let's do that on the other side. A little bit of a gorilla. And remember, your right, not your right knee, your knee on this side, is gonna just point straight, and so is your thigh bone. You see how quiet that thigh bone is when we do this? What's happening is this one's moving. This one's moving. And then on this side, this one's moving, but the other one is not. We are opening here. We're opening, closing, just like we're doing with our upper body at our shoulders. This is down here. So that's what that is. Now, what I need is an open. So here I did dance. We decided last week that I could still call this first position. Last time I heard that, I was 6 years old. So, so you always want your knees over your toes. And what that means is your thigh bones are telling your knees to be out in that direction, which means you're open here. Okay? So have that sense and get yourself centered. This may or may not feel very comfortable to you. Now, what I'd like you to do is, you see my line? This is like reflecting my line, and I could get uncentered here, but I'm trying to keep the very top of my head aligned with my spine and my center of gravity over my toe. So we're sort of doing this, right? We're sort of doing this, and then let's shift weight. So these feet are out at 45 degrees, and I'm just shifting my weight and I'm picking up a foot. Fabulous. And I'm shifting my weight, and I don't care if it's exactly 45 degrees. Just shift back and forth. You don't have to do it exactly at the moment I do it. Get feeling comfortable. Now, if you want a workout, then you can at any moment, decide that you're going to bend those knees further, and then it requires more stretch and also more strength here. You will find that that's more of a workout. You'll feel those quads engage, but it's okay to be way up here too. Mostly I want you just in this position, and I want you shifting. Get a feel for that. Yeah. And now do whatever makes sense. Follow me if you like, but I'd like you standing on one leg, and then depending on your balance, you can just stay here and sort of off to the corner. You can just heel toe, or you could like do this if that's your thing, or you could reach out further. Okay, heel toe, whatever works for you at this point. Move over. And then if you can, I'd like to see some sort of really just being on this one leg. So heel toe is a really good thing to do. So for those of you who are following me, why don't you try that? You can actually go out, and maybe we'll head for shoulder width apart. Heel toe, and on the other side. Moving that Tai Chi pole. If you're having any balance issues, it's your Tai Chi pole. It's that you're not, you're not there. So if you can see yourself, take care of that. Heel toe. Nice. Now I'm going to come over here so I'm back a little further. And let's do sort of big toe, little toe. Notice I'm turning out that thigh bone, and I'm still quite straight. And then bringing back, shifting my weight, and the same thing on the other side. Nice, folks. Nice. Okay, now we're going to go into bow steps from here. So you don't have to move. I'm just sort of getting where I think you can see me better. So we're going to do that, and we're going to go out, and I don't care if it's a small step out or it's a big step out. Ideally, you're going shoulder width apart. And if you are up for a real challenge because you're really strong and balanced, bend this leg. And when you do that, it'll be a long step. But if you're standing up pretty far, it's just going to be maybe a foot's distance forward. It's not going to be far. Okay, so find out where that is for you, and then bring it back and shift and step out and back and shift and step out. Again, you can do it at your own pace. Shift, step out. You can practice this at home. If this is a challenge, this is something to work on. Nice. You guys are doing great. Okay, now we're going to shift our weight a little bit. We're going to be here, out. We can always take it back, right? We've proved that. Now we know it's going to work here. So we're going to make sure that that toe sort of points in the direction we're going. And then we're just going to lay that foot down straight towards the screen, or, in front of where your head is at this point, and just let the whole foot go down, heel, ball, toe. And then you're going to come back and figure out if you can get your Tai Chi pole back so that you can just pick that foot up again. It was really easy before, but sometimes it gets harder now. So same thing on the other side. Just go through that until you feel you can do it. Because in Tai Chi, we move kind of slowly like this. So this is the bow step. You're almost there. Nice job. Okay, now we're going to finish that bow step. We're going to be over here so we can pick this foot up, heel out at shoulder width apart, whatever is natural. See, you just unfold. You just unfold. Then your leg's going to go straight. Your leg and toes go straight. And as it does, you turn a little and it flattens. We call that heel ball toe. And then you give a final push, start straightening this back leg and bending the front one. And look at this. You turned. Your hips turned. Finally, I let your hips turn, right? Your hips are really turning. Now, can we come back? Because we have moved that Tai Chi pole. Look at this. A Tai Chi pole is centered. I realize the camera's not perfect, but believe me, it is completely centered. Okay? Now, I am going to push with my front foot, and I am going to turn and start getting the weight on my heel, and then move that Tai Chi pole back. Can you lift your foot up? Nice. Bring it back. Over. Tai Chi pole. Out. And bend knee. I want you to be conscious that moment you bend the knee, and it's a bending, straightening, turning here. Now your upper body doesn't necessarily have to turn, but your hips have turned. Now you can't quite see if this knee's bent, but it is. Straighten that knee, that one, bend this one, and you're going to sort of turn back with your hips. Move your Tai Chi pole all the way over here and come back. Nice job. I'm going to come over here again, but you don't have to move. So we're going to shift over here, or not sure where we were, but we're going to shift over here. We're going to out, heel, ball, toe, bend, knee, straighten, come back. Oh, I can't lift that foot up. What happened? Oh, my Tai Chi pole is not fully back yet. Sometimes it helps if you bend a little here forward, just a little bit, so that you can really get this center of gravity back. That may help. And then over, out, and in. Now we're just going to do it, because you know what? Sometimes it's faster. Faster is easier. And we're going to do some checks. I want you to stop here. I want you to look and make sure this knee is in line with your toes. Is it? Yeah, good. Okay, come back. I want you to look. Are your knees kind of in line with your toes? Are you open here? If your knees are in like this, it may not be very safe. So see if you can do that gorilla here. Move over here, out, and in. There you go. So that's what we're going to be doing. So this is the move. Good job. If you're having any balance issues, which people have, just number one, relax down. Your gorilla is going to help you. And number two, think about turning on that Tai Chi pole. Whoop, turn. But you may have to shift that Tai Chi pole over your foot. Before you move anything, shift, get there, and then before you move anything. So experiment with that. And again, if you want more of a workout, here's the workout. You just really bend, and then everything gets a little more intense. Good job. Any questions on that? Let's get some arms. Remember we talked about body shape? I see folks saying, I've got arms. See? Yeah. So let's get them using, because we've not been doing much with them. So we talked about body shape. We've been talking about it in prepare. but we talked about how things aren't here, they're out. There's always a tree in there, right? So I want to take that tree. We opened earlier and we closed, just like when we did the knee bumps. Our elbows dropped, our shoulders dropped. So we're not like this, we're like this. Nice, nice. And we're never opening like this either, like this. Our elbows don't get in behind us, and we're always a little recessed here and a little stretched in the back, right? Now, what I want you to do is I'm actually going to help you by giving you an arm to watch. Again, I'm mirroring you, so you do not have to worry about which arm this is, unless for some reason you want to. But I want to just clarify that for you. So here we are. We're gonna, one comes up, one comes down, but it's still like a tree. And we close. So one's sort of in front of the shoulder in a way, and one is under the elbow, right? Kind of. But you see, it's not really close. It's still out. Nice. And then we open and we go the other way. Nice. And we open, we did this last week, and the other way. Nice. All right, so we talked about a big blob or a huge tribble from Star Trek. And we talked about your hands going over the blob. So just feel that blob. Nice. Feel that blob. It's like it's oval. So your hands can be oval. You know, you feel it and you can just feel it rub on it. So if you actually imagine it, it will be easier for you. Just imagine that there it is. There's that blob. Can you see my blob? Find your own blob and just go that way. All right. There you go. Own blob. All right, so we're going to come back here. We did this last week a little bit, and we're going to go on. Just make sure I know what my timing is here. All right, so here we go. So actually, let's start here at the ends of the blob. There you go. So we are going to come up with this hand and down with this hand. Make sense? Like this. Okay? And then we're going to come up with this hand and down with this hand. And we're in that first position. And then like this. So it's the same thing we were just doing. And now, as we come up with this hand, that means move your weight towards this side. So watch this. There we go. My weight, see my Tai Chi pole goes to this side. And we get here, one up, one down. My weight is fully there. You lift this up. Yeah. So what do? You finish the closing and you put your heel out. Now you could take it back, but you've closed. So you're closed. Nice. And then we're just going to bring it back, just this part. We're going to bring it back. And now here, the weight's still fully. And then as the other one rises, the weight moves and shifts until when you're at this point, it's all the way on the high hand side. Make sense? That frees up this foot and we can step out and close, finish closing. Nice. So it's a closed step. Let's try that a little faster. Out, shift, close step. Keeping the weight so you can pull it back, weight still on that foot, and shift. Now, close step. Back, center weight, shift weight, close step. Center your weight, shift, close step. And close step. Keep that tree. Lots of you have it, but boy, your trees are getting really like saplings. You'll be more stable, higher. I mean, bigger, actually. Nice. Nice. Nice corrections. All right. Let's stop there for a second. Check it out. How are we doing? This is a lot. I got a thumb up from Janet, and it's her first day. So that's just phenomenal. Yukiko's excited, so that's good. Any questions on that part? Okay. I'm gonna, if you think of a question, that's fine. It's fair game. Say, hey, Dee, wait a minute. I've got a question. I'm gonna, oh, yeah, Molly.
Sorry, I just have one question, which is that when we're standing on one leg, should we be trying to keep ourselves like a pole, or is it coming out like we're sassy? Like, do we draw it up?
It's not sassy.
Nope. Not sassy. Okay.
Because think about it. Think about the stress that puts. I love that you say sassy. That's a really good point. That's right? But no, I mean, look at what this does, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the thing we like to think about in Tai Chi. Here's another image for you. Remember I talked about those planes earlier? Take your whole pelvis and imagine it as kind of a sacred bowl. You know, it holds a lot. And you fill it with water, fill it with chi, fill it with whatever. If you fill it with water, you'll be very conscious of it spilling places you don't want it. So what are you doing when you kind of do that sassy thing, right? You're not level at your hips. Mm-hmm. So I can't think of a time actually in Tai Chi when we do that. No, I mean, when we aren't level. So very excellent question. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't pointed that out. Fabulous. I love that. All right. So let's do one more thing. Okay. I think it's going to be easier just to do it while we're learning the coordination. So let's go back rather than just working on it separately. Let's go back here. When we're centered, our arms tend to be out and, you know, about to change, right? As an arm rises, our weight moves to that side, right? Here we go. Here we go. And our weight is fully at that side when one up, one down. Now, we're going to finish closing across, close, step. Now, let's just go back. Let's get back in the swing of it. We're going to keep that Tai Chi pole back. And our weight's still there, but we've come back. And now shift. Weight was centered. It's moving towards the upper hand, close step. Okay, and back. And close step. You guys look like you have this. Now, this hand, the upper hand, there's an upper hand and lower hand, right? Now, I'm going to move back a little bit. We have stepped, but we haven't really transferred weight yet, right? Because our weight is still with this upper hand. What's this upper hand going to do now? It's going to come down, and this side of the body is going to get heavy because this hand's going to rise. How's that going to happen? I want you to take this hand, think of it as front and up, and it's going to come in and down. So you're going to move that heel ball toe like this. Look at the shelf I have in the front. A shelf I have in the front. And then bend knee. And then we could reverse it, right? We reversed it before. So you toe, ball, heel, the backhand's gonna come up and you're gonna start to see it. And where's the weight going? Towards the upper hand side, right? And then we're gonna come back and get our weight even, shift our weight, close, step. Now, upper hand is gonna come in and down. And the other hand, you see this lovely thing the other hand is? It's gonna rise like a shelf. And you're turning towards the corner. So here we go. We're gonna rise like a shelf, upper hand in. And what's happening? As this arm rises, the weight is more on that side. Heel, ball, toe, bend, knee. Nice. Some people like to think at this point that there is a bird perched right here, a little bird, pick your species, and that you have just finished petting that bird, and you've got the tip of its tail right here. Now the bird's gonna fly away. You're gonna come up and kind of wave goodbye as you shift your weight towards what? That upper hand side. Feet together, out, shift. We're gonna close, step. There's not really much weight yet. Here comes the weight because what's happening? The lower arm rises with that bird on it and you pet it. And then you come back, open, step, nice. Shift weight, close, step. Get the bird, rise, pet. Bend knee. Nice. Coming back. Open. Close. Birds coming up. Weight shifts, bend knee. Nice. Close, step. Pet the bird. This is called right ward off. It's part of what? Grasp the bird's tail. So we're petting a bird. All right, let's take questions. How are we doing?
My coordination is terrible. I don't know which.
Okay, so which part of it is the, this is another one of those pat your stomach, you know, rub your stomach, pat your head. How many things can we do at once?
Exactly. Challenges
to our brain and our body. I make it look easy because I've been doing this for years. So yeah. But what's the most challenging part of it? Is it the closing? Is it the last part? Is it keeping your balance?
Because my struggling is which hand up and which foot, you know, hand to foot coordination, as well as the hands inside, the palm.
So let's try, this is good. This is good. Thank you. Let's try an experiment. Can you guys go shoulder to shoulder with me? I'm not sure if that's going to help or not, but now that you kind of know the moves. So I'm in first position and I'm facing this way. And you can get yourself facing the same way I am. If you can see the other people, then they're going to probably be facing a different direction than you. But you can literally face the direction I'm facing right now. All right. And now that you're doing that, this is going to be your right hand, okay? So, wow, that helps, right? Okay, right hand rising, weight shifting to the right. We get to a point where the right hand is up, the left hand is down, our weight is centered. We're gonna close step. Then our left arm becomes the place where the bird is going to land in just a second as it starts to rise. And we're going to go heel, ball, toe with the left foot, turn our hips, and pet that bird. Nice. Now, the right hand is down a little bit. You see, we have weight on both feet, right? Weight on both feet, but there's a little bit more on the left. Now, our right hand's going to rise. What does that mean? That means our weight is moving back towards the right side. And our arms circle out. Our whole weight is there. We bring that foot back. And now we shift to the left. Left arm is up, right arm is hanging down. Still a nice tree. We're going to, all the weights there, close step. Now put the bird on your right arm and pet the bird as you come forward. Let's do that again in the other direction because you'll see things a little differently.
Hey, Didi, you have a question. So
yeah.
Your palm always are facing each other, right?
Okay, let's go through that and just make sure. So they're kind of like, yeah, if you kind of went like this, they kind of are here. And then here, they're not. Okay, one's out, one's back. Okay. And then you're rotating this arm. We didn't kind of go through it because you do it naturally around this. You do this. Right around your elbow. And then this one does this. See, it drops. We did this in cloud hands, right? Until we get to here. And then, yes, they cross. And if you went like this, they would mirror each other kind of. I mean, they, you know, but one's on one side of your body and one's on the other. That looks good. Drop your elbows. Yes, lovely, lovely. When you drop your elbows, your shoulders come down. It's much easier. Okay. All right, let's do it on the other side. We'll do it a little faster. So here we are. Here we are. We're going to do the left side first. So the left hand is rising. It's facing out when it does. And we're shifting our weight. So our weight's fully shifted now. We're going to close step. As we sort of finish that closing. And you see, I've turned my upper body here. My lower body has made a tiny turn. Now we're gonna push with the back foot, absorb with the right, heel, ball, toe, bend knee, pet the bird. Back, left arm is rising. We're shifting what? Left as we go back. Weight fully back when one's up and one's down. Bring the foot in. Shift weight. You're now fully centered and then coming to the other side. Close step. And come forward as the left hand, lower hand rises. Questions? So this is a huge thing. Janet, you get big kudos for hanging in there today as your first class. That's amazing. Rima, do you have a comment?
No matter what I do, when I look down, my heels almost seem to be in a line instead of yours, which look like they're shoulder width apart. Yeah, I don't know whether it has to do with this first position thing, but when I step out, my heels don't get very far apart from each other.
So this is a very common thing that happens at first, especially when we've got the everything else going on. And what it is, you're just closing your hips too soon. So you were in first position, and if you actually step out in the direction, you just unfold.
Yeah.
Right? If you just unfold before you think move, then your foot will naturally kind of go out in that direction, at least some distance. And you don't need to, unless, I mean, if you're not super strong, if you're really strong, it's easy to get to shoulder width. If you're not super strong, you may not get to shoulder width quite when you unfold, but you'll get further if you go out in that direction. Then when you go heel ball toe, there could be a tendency to do this, right? So you do have to kind of make sure that there's a little closing that happens here. So you know that your body knows that's going to happen. You're like, oh, I know I'm going to close, right? And so you just go ahead and you close. Your body instinctively knows that, and that's why you end up there. So you have to consciously step out. It's at the moment you first step out that error is happening.
Am I actually meant to be stepping out for a moment at the 45-degree angle and then quickly rotating forward?
I think it's a really good thing to do in the short term. But what's going to happen is you will just learn to go out and smoothly, you'll learn to kind of go out and make that turn as a circle. But you're not going to do this. You're not going to make your whole leg go. Your leg is going to just go out, unfold. And because there's no weight on it, you can do this with your ankle. If you have good ankles, you can kind of turn your foot with your ankle, but we don't turn our foot with our ankle out of alignment when there's weight on it, but there's no weight on it. So that's the other way you can achieve that. Okay? Experiment with it this week and then come back. Any other questions on this? We are going to be doing no new moves next week. We're going to be doing this. And I'm going to introduce a bit of the concept of yin yang, because it's everywhere in Tai Chi and it's everywhere here. So we'll do some of that, and we'll practice and see if we can get all the questions answered and enjoyment and our Tai Chi pull and our balance and everything working. Any other thoughts with that? Let's then let's cool down together. Just really, we'll do one of everything. Okay? So here we go. Prepare. Elevate your head and suspend your body. Ground yourself. Opening and into moving like the waves. Arms floating up. Gorilla, unlock your knees. Pushing down. Coming up. And down. Rock spreads its wings. Coming up. Out. Giant wings, relaxed but powerful, beating in. One more. Out. In. Coming down. Gazing at the moon. We're going to complete that and let our hands come down. Rising arm turning. Rising arm, grab, pull. Coming just here. Down. Up. Shoulder height. Down. And now drag your fingers through the warm sand. Feel its grittiness. Grab, we'll do 3 of these. Up, squeeze, and down. And drag your fingers through the sand. Feel its warmth. Release it.